All right, guys, I'm going to do just a video here on how to fatten up your secondary on your Quadra Jet carburetor. I got a buddy that called me, and he was basically trying to ask me how to do that over the phone. Actually, he was trying to set up a time to come over here to dig through my needles is what he's doing. But anyway, I just thought I would do a video for him to give him the rundown. Now, the car he's working on is an 85 Chevy Monte Carlo. It's not a Super Sport, it's just a Monte Carlo. It used to have a 305 4-barrel Quadra Jet on it. It was computer controlled. I am not sure what year GM went to the electronic computer controlled Quadra Jet. I want to say 81, but I don't know that for a fact, so don't quote me on it. Now, I'll show you right here. This is the difference if you do not know. There's a 3-prong plug-in here, and there's a 2-prong plug-in here. So this is your electronic computer-controlled Quadra Jet. This is an old-school standard one that doesn't take any electronics. And another thing I will show you, the usual difference you can tell outside visually of what the carburetor is for. The ones that have the fuel inlet coming from the side is a Chevrolet. The ones that come out the front, like this one, this is Buick, Olds, and Pontiac, I believe. Could be Cadillac too, I'm not 100%. But most usually, like G bodies, if they come out the side, it was Chevrolet. And the others were this style. But anyway, so another thing he said his wiring is all taped up because somebody had messed with the car and taped up a lot of the wiring. So all the plug-ins are taped up together and he doesn't know what goes to what. There is a wire you will need for your choke if you want it to just hook it up. These plug-ins for the choke is one wire, but it has a spade on it, but it is pretty funky. It has a little kick out on the side of it, a little bent over tab, so it's shaped kind of like an L. And the plug-in for that kind of looks like this dude. And you can see right here, like the main spade would go in here, the big part, and that little L kick in it right there would go in that part. So that is, if you find that style plug-in, that's your choke wire right there. So anyway, that is the main difference in Quadra Jet carburetors. Now, I will say another thing. If your charcoal canister is still in your car or truck, it's the same as C10. This is the port that goes to your charcoal canister. It's the black plastic canister about yay big that's usually on the inner fender. And if you look on the top of it, it'll have the outlets or the ports for hoses to go on, and it will say carb, vent, or something on it. So anyway, that goes to the carb part of your charcoal canister. Now, you don't even need to cap this. This does not draw vacuum. This is just a vent. You can cap it. If you're not running a charcoal canister, it will vent through this, but that is not going to pull any vacuum, so it doesn't need a cap on it. But anyway, if you have a charcoal canister, I would recommend going ahead and hooking it up because you know, if you get a little tiny garage and you put your car in there and you leave it out there for a couple of weeks, you might get a little fuel smell in the garage. You might notice a little fuel smell. So that is basically for that. Now we'll get to the secondaries. I've rambled on enough about that kind of crap. So anyway, to fatten up your secondaries on your Quadra Jet to get a little bit more fuel is pretty easy. There's one screw right here. Now on the later, you know, like 80s model Quadra Jets, they have a Torx bit here, but these old school Q Jets just have a little flat screw in them, flathead screw. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off. It's a pretty short screw, and I will say it's usually, this is just what I do. You can do however you want. I will put a tiny little dab of Loctite on it, just a little bit when I put it back in, because if this thing works its way out, when that secondary is open, that could drop down in your engine. Just me. So that is how you get the secondary needles out of your Quadra Jet. Now, in this one's case, it has a G hanger. And what I mean by that is this hanger right here. This is called the hanger. It always has a letter designation right here at the back of it. And this one is a G. I don't know if that's showing up in the camera or not. The letters on those, the closest to A is richer. So if you got one that's an F, that's going to be a rich hanger. So you can pretty much just swap out the hanger, keep your needles, and then take it out and try it. Because you can go too far and you'll just end up rolling black smoke like a diesel. So what is this one here? This one is a U. That looks like a U. Could be an O. But anyway, what you would do basically to tell, this is a pretty good example here. If I can get these up side by side, I want you to look at the two holes, the one hole on each one where them needles go into. See how much higher this one is right here than this one? That's the difference in one closest to A for richer. It basically, those holes are higher, so it pulls the needles up higher out of the jets. So you're going to get more fuel that way. So that is that. Now I'll show you the needles here. Let's see if I got one here to show. All I've got here is a bunch of pretty rich ones. I will say if you got a 305 secondary, I have seen those that are just, they taper a little bit, but they're pretty much real thick on the ends. This is a good example right here. These are both still pretty rich needles. See how much longer that tip is on that? This is going to be a super rich needle. This is going to put a lot of fuel out to the engine. This one, not so much. I mean, it is still pretty rich because it's got a point, but it's not a 305 one, you know what I mean? But anyway, that is how you tell rich needles to not so rich needles. And again, don't go crazy and put the fattest of everything in, you know, an F hanger with a really thin needle on a 350 Chevy that's stock, because you'll flood the crap out of it. But anyway, that's pretty much how you play with it. It's pretty easy. You just hang these on the outside like this. They always go on the outside of the hanger. And you basically just try to drop it down in there. Set it right back down on there, and again, put just a little tiny dab. I usually will put the Loctite, I'll pour it out on a little piece of paper, something, and I'll just barely touch the side of that tip of the end of that screw in there to get it on there, because I don't want it so tight I can't get it ever out of there, but I don't want it coming out of there dry and dropping down in the engine. But that is pretty much the basics. Also, this port right here is for your power brake booster on your Monte Carlo. There should be a fitting that goes in there, and then you should have a metal flared line that will screw into that. But if you just want to stick a hose on it, you can put a barb fitting in there. But anyway, that's a basic rundown. And I don't know if I mentioned that. If you ever want to know why these had a huge roar to them when you got into them, unlike a Holly, it's because of that giant secondary. When these things are open, man, these things roar like crazy. They have tiny primaries, so you get some good bottom end out of them. But when they're rebuilt and they're working right, they're a good carburetor. But if you don't know what you're doing when you rebuild one, you're probably going to have issues. But if you pay attention and do it, you can get it done. And the secondaries on these carburetors will not open unless this is down right here. So usually on your electric choke, once it gets up to temp, like dead cold, you go out, you're not going to get a 4-barrel. You got to wait until the choke opens. But I have actually zip tied or wired these down and just leave them open, because it usually never gets super cold here to worry about a cold start issue. But anyway, your secondaries will not open until the choke is pretty much up to its temp and kicked open. But also for this, spring tension right here, you want something kind of light, probably about like that. I have seen these really, really hard to, like, you got to tap them pretty hard to get them to open a little bit. If yours are pretty stiff and you want to open them a little bit, you can mess with this Allen head set screw right here. Right there's a little bitty Allen head. You can reach under there with a little bent Allen wrench and adjust that. Don't go crazy with it either. Play with that just a little bit at a time. But anyway, guys, just basic stuff, and hopefully it helps somebody. Thanks for watching.